Meet Jake. Jake is 33 years old. He works a stable corporate job in marketing, earns about $68,000 a year, rents a clean one-bedroom apartment, and drives a car that's reliable enough to not stress him out every morning. From the outside, Jake looks like he's doing everything right. He's not flashy, not reckless, not the kind of person who blows money on things he can't afford. He tracks his expenses, tries to stay within budget, cooks at home more often than not, and even puts a small amount into investments when he can. If you asked most people to describe him, they'd say he's responsible, the kind of guy who has his life together. But there's something about Jake's financial life that never quite clicks into place. Every time he gets a raise, every time his income inches up, it doesn't feel like he's getting ahead. It just feels like things are getting slightly less tight, slightly less stressful, slightly more manageable. Not better, just less bad. Now you just listen to my voice. Forget what is happening on the screen. The reason sits quietly beneath the surface. Jake is carrying about $21,000 in credit card debt spread across multiple accounts, each with interest rates hovering around 20%. He has roughly $29,000 left in student loans that he's been paying consistently 4 years, and a car loan that he once told himself he would aggressively pay off early, but never quite managed to. None of these debts happened because Jake was irresponsible. They built up gradually, over time, through normal life decisions, education, emergencies, small gaps between income and expenses that compounded quietly. Now they've become part of his monthly reality. Every month, no matter what happens, those payments are there, waiting, fixed, non-negotiable. And for the past several years, Jake has been stuck in a loop where his money is constantly flowing backward, servicing decisions he made in the past. What makes it harder is that he doesn't feel out of control. He feels stuck. And there's one question he hasn't been able to answer clearly in years. What would my life actually look like if none of this existed? Now meet Marcus. Marcus is 42. He lives in the same city, works a similar type of job, and earns around $72,000 a year. Not dramatically different from Jake. Not wealthy, not struggling, just somewhere in the middle. 3 years ago, Marcus made his final debt payment. The last credit card balance hit zero. The last student loan installment cleared. The final car payment went through. And just like that, a financial chapter of his life closed. What's important is that Marcus didn't get there through some dramatic change. He didn't suddenly double his income. He didn't win money or receive a large inheritance. His job didn't transform overnight. What changed was his approach. At some point, Marcus stopped thinking about debt as something to manage and started treating it as something to eliminate completely. That shift in mindset changed how he used every extra dollar he had. To understand the difference between Jake and Marcus, you have to look at what their money is doing right now, not just how much they earn. Jake's monthly financial picture is simple but heavy. He pays about $500 a month toward his credit cards, and because of the high interest rates, a large portion of that payment, sometimes more than $350, is just interest. That means he's paying hundreds of dollars every month without actually reducing his debt in a meaningful way. On top of that, his student loans cost him around $320 a month, and his car payment adds another $380 altogether. Jake is committing roughly $1,200 every single month to debt. That $1,200 is locked. It can't be redirected. It can't be invested. It can't build anything new. Its only job is to maintain the past. What Jake hasn't fully confronted is what that $1,200 represents over time. If you take that same amount, $1,200 a month, and instead of using it for debt, you invest it consistently in a basic index fund with an average annual return of about 8%, the outcome changes dramatically. In 10 years, that money grows to over $220,000. In 20 years, it approaches or exceeds $700,000. That's not a theoretical number in some distant scenario. That's the real, measurable future value of the money Jake is currently using to service debt. It's not just that he's paying interest. It's that he's giving up the opportunity for that money to compound in his favor. This is the part most people never calculate. They see the monthly payments, but they don't see the long-term cost of where that money could have gone instead. Every dollar that leaves Jake's account in interest is not just gone, it's a dollar that never got the chance to grow. Marcus faced a similar situation a few years earlier. At his peak, he had around $43,000 in total consumer debt, credit cards, student loans, and a car loan, all stacked together. For a long time, he handled it the way most people do, making minimum payments, occasionally paying a little extra, but not aggressively enough to change the trajectory. Then something shifted. He started focusing on the structure of his debt rather than just the total amount. He chose a method known as the debt avalanche, where you prioritize paying off the highest interest debt first while maintaining minimum payments on everything else. It's not the most emotionally satisfying approach in the beginning, because progress can feel slow, but mathematically, it saves the most money. What made Marcus successful wasn't just the method, it was consistency and discipline after each small win. When he paid off his first credit card, he didn't celebrate by increasing his spending. He took the payment he had been making on that card and added it to the next debt in line. This created a snowball effect in terms of cash flow. Even though he was using the avalanche method in terms of prioritization, his monthly extra payments grew over time, from a few $100s to over $1,000. Each cleared balance accelerated the next one. Instead of his money being spread thin across multiple obligations, it became concentrated and focused. Over about 16 to 18 months, the momentum built to a point where the remaining balances started falling faster than he expected. Then came the moment that changes everything, the last payment. When Marcus cleared his final debt, his financial life didn't just improve slightly, it structurally changed. Suddenly, he had over $1,200 per month that was no longer committed to anything. That money didn't have a destination anymore. And this is the point where most people make a critical mistake. Without a plan, freed up cash flow tends to disappear into lifestyle upgrades. Better food, more subscriptions, small comforts that feel deserved after years of restriction. Marcus avoided that trap because he had already decided, before his debt was gone, what that money would do next. He started by building a proper emergency fund, setting aside enough to cover 6 months of expenses. This gave him a level of financial stability he had never experienced before. After that, he increased his contributions to his retirement account to capture the full employer match, effectively getting free money added to his savings. Then he opened a Roth IRA and began maxing it out annually. Whatever remained, he directed into a taxable brokerage account invested in low-cost index funds. Within a year, Marcus had transformed from someone whose money was tied up in obligations to someone whose money was actively building wealth. The psychological shift was just as important as the financial one. When Jake thinks about making a decision, changing jobs, moving to a different city, taking a risk, there's always a calculation running in the background. Can I still make my payments if this doesn't work out? That question limits his options, often without him realizing it. It keeps him anchored in safer, more predictable choices. Marcus no longer runs that calculation. Without debt, his baseline financial pressure dropped significantly. This allowed him to consider opportunities he would have previously avoided. He wasn't reckless, but he was no longer constrained in the same way. His thinking shifted from short-term survival to long-term growth. Over time, the gap between Jake and Marcus widens, not because of dramatic differences in income, but because of how their money is allocated. Jake continues to send over $1,000 a month toward debt, limiting his ability to invest and build wealth. Marcus sends a similar amount into investments, allowing compound interest to work in his favor. After 10 years, the difference is already significant. After 20 years, it becomes massive, hundreds of thousands of dollars separating to people who started in almost the same place. The key insight here that the difference isn't about intelligence, discipline in a general sense, or even income level. It's about sequence. It's about what happens first, what happens next, and where each dollar is directed at each stage. Debt delays the moment when your money can start working for you, and the longer that delay lasts, the more expensive it becomes in terms of lost opportunity. For someone like Jake, the path forward doesn't require a complete overhaul of his life. It starts with clarity, understanding not just the amount of debt, but the cost of carrying it over time. From there, choosing a strategy that fits his personality, whether it's the mathematically efficient avalanche method or the psychologically motivating snowball method. The exact method matters less than the commitment to follow through. Adding even a small amount of extra payment each month can significantly reduce both the duration of the debt and the total interest paid. But perhaps most importantly, having a clear plan for what happens after the debt is gone ensures that the transition from paying off the past to building the future happens smoothly. Because in the end, the real cost of debt isn't just the interest rate printed on a statement. It's the life it delays. It's the opportunities it restricts. It's the compounding growth that never gets a chance to begin. And once that becomes clear, staying in the same position stops feeling acceptable. It starts to feel like something that needs to change, and soon.